KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger, a public affairs program featuring stories from all over the Central Valley with Sevag Tateosian, 90.7 KFSR.
Welcome to another edition of the Central Valley Ledger. We're recording out of the beautiful downtown Fresno studios of the Community Media Access Collaborative, Fresno and Clovis. Our guest, we have two guests today. One, Corey, played basketball at Bullard High School and then went on to Chico. And I'll let him explain the story. Our other guest is Hovig. He's been in basketball for a very long time, another local Bullard High School graduate, and I'll let him explain a little bit about him. But first, Corey, let's talk about you. Tell us about yourself.
You covered it. I'm from, I went to high school at Bullard High School, then went to college at Chico State. Been playing basketball my whole life. Got a special opportunity in Armenia, and that's pretty much a lot about me.
You're a tall guy. How tall are you?
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
He's built like a basketball player. Hovig, you've been around basketball for a very long time, and I still remember you on the sidelines during the Torigian era.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having us. We're glad to be here. Congratulations to you and your show here. But yeah, going back, we've known each other for many years, and as a lot of people would say, the good days at Fresno State basketball. But I had the fortune to work with Coach Torigian and with Coach Lopes at Fresno State, and I've seen a lot of basketball players, and my time from Fresno State, then making it to high school, that's where our paths crossed. I've seen a lot of players, and seeing Corey develop as a young kid to a teenager to a man now as an adult. He's worked hard. He's worked hard to get where he's at, and all those good things are happening. So this is a good way for us to tell kids, like, look, if you work hard and do the right things, good things happen. So he deserves everything that he's getting right now.
And people don't understand. Like, you and I, we're pretty tall. We're tall people. This guy makes us look short. I was looking up to him.
Yeah.
So 6'5". Did your height help you in the basketball game?
It did. So actually, I got a growth spurt. I was always shorter, not the tallest guy on my team. So I played point guard growing up in elementary school, junior high, and high school. And then my junior high to high school, 8th to 9th grade, I hit like a 4-inch growth spurt, and it was like 6'2", 6'3".
Wow.
And then by the end of my senior year, I was 6'4", and I think by the end of my freshman year in college, I grew to 6'5". But I was playing point guard my whole life, so I kind of kept those skills and kept on working on them. So the height really helped me because I'm a bigger guard, which stands out to the leagues, the top leagues.
So Bullard, you
Yes.
go to Bullard, you play ball at Bullard.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you realize you're going to go to Chico State? Or because I'm sure you had other opportunities.
Yeah, well, Chico. So I actually had other schools, Division I schools, that were interested in me, and there were schools coming in and out of our gym during open gyms or practices in the morning. But my junior summer going into my senior year, I had a cast on my thumb, torn ligament. And a lot of those schools kind of fell off. They had their guys, their recruitment was kind of over. But Chico stayed on me the whole entire time, and they were really loyal. And loyalty is something that, I take a lot of pride in, that I really appreciate. And so they offered me. I went on my visit to Chico, and I loved the coaching staff. I loved the players. I loved the culture. I loved the family environment they had. And it's high-level D2, which they're winning. They win championships. So I had an opportunity to compete for championships, and I took that into consideration when determining whether I wanted to go to a high Division II or a mid-major Division I. Because so that's kind of I went there based on the loyalty and the family environment and the culture that I experienced when I was there.
Walk us through the process, because you've kind of lived the whole high school student getting recruited by colleges. So do they just call you out of the blue, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, they talk to your coaches first. They'll send you letters. A lot of times during AAU summer ball, that's when they get to see you. And for me, we went far into the state tournaments and the state runs, and so during those type of runs, I would have colleges come to those games, and they would see me there too, which helped me. But after those games, they during the period that they can, there's certain periods where they're allowed to talk to you. They'll talk to your coach first, tell you that they're interested, learn about the person. They want to ask questions to see what type of person you are, and then If everything goes well, they'll give you a phone call out of nowhere. You don't really know what's coming. Your coach might tell you, your coach might not. And so just randomly, I remember Pepperdine calling me on the phone when I was driving with my dad, just telling me they liked seeing me play. They wanted to have me up on campus, and it happens just like that.
How does that feel? Someone getting the call saying, hey, Corey, we watched you, we like you. What's that feeling for you? Because you put in years in this. It's not like you woke up one day playing basketball and the next day you get this call. Like, this has been your job pretty much.
No, it's very special, and it's an honor when that happens. It shows that hard work does pay off. I'm never satisfied, the type of person I am. I believe that I've been a huge underdog my whole life. And so when I get these phone calls, I'm very appreciative and I'm very excited, but I always want more. I always believe that I could reach the top. I always keep pushing to reach my end goal, and that's something that, that I want to accomplish. So when these phone calls do happen, I'm very excited and very honored, but I just want to keep pushing for more and more.
Hovig, you've seen this guy play, and you've seen other great players play. I remember as I'm looking at you, I remember back in the day, we were at Fresno State games, and there you were on the sidelines. How does he compare to some of the players you've seen?
Especially between then and now, the game of basketball's changed a lot too. And I think when we're going to keep it at like the NBA level right now, professional level and stuff, and the dynamics of the games have changed. I mean, everybody's watching, the Warriors, the finals just finished now. And, the NBA games become more of a three-point league. The team that has the best shooters is pretty much the team that's going to be always on top. But, what Corey has compared, I don't want to compare him to those that we had at Fresno State because it's not fair to either one. But for him, he has what it takes now to be a professional basketball player, whether it's, NBA, G League, overseas. He does have the attributes. He can shoot, he can dribble, he can see the floor well. He has a very fast first step, dribbling the ball. Like I said, he's put himself in a position to be able to make basketball a career, and and everybody who plays basketball as a little kid, that's, I want to play in the NBA one day, so he's put himself in a spot where basketball is going to be a job. He's going to go just like we all go to work, we put in our time and our efforts and all that stuff to be able to bring home a paycheck. He's going to be able to do the same thing, but it's going to be in the form of going to the gym, going into the gym, shooting, getting workouts in with coaches and playing games and stuff like that. So he does. It's one of those things as a college player, you look at that as, is that going to be a possibility one day? And he's at the point now where it's reality. It's just where. So
you're at Chico State. Tell us what happened that you now get to play for the Armenian National Team. And before I get there, how random is that? Like, did you ever think, okay, the Armenian National Team is where I'm going to be playing after college?
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm going to be so honest with you. It was just random. I came home, I was sitting on my couch, and this guy calls me, and literally the phone call went like this. Hey, Corey. I was like, hey, you want to play for the Armenian National Team? I was like,
sure.
I was like, what are you talking about, for like the Olympic, like FIBA type stuff? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I want to play for the. It was literally just like that. He's like, okay, all right, this guy's going to contact you. Have a good night. And I was like, all right, see you, Hovig.
What a nice 2-minute call, right?
Yeah. It was very cool, very special, huge honor.
How did you make that, or how did that come up?
So, I mean, I don't have a connection with the Armenian National Team or anything like that. I got a phone call from Rob Soroyan, which I'm sure a lot of people in the Valley know. But he just called me up, and he's like, hey, remember that Armenian kid that you had at Bullard? And I was like, yeah, what about him? He's like, do you, the one that, he played in college? I go, yeah, Corey. He goes, yeah. He goes, do you still talk to him? I go, yeah. He goes, we can talk to him at least once or twice a month, keep in touch with him. Whenever, Chico State would play Cal State Stanislaus, myself and one of our other coaches, Coach Natsus, we'd always take that drive, drive over to Turlock over there and go watch him play. But I go, yeah, what's up? He goes, well, do you think if he had the opportunity, he'd want to play for the Armenian National Team? Me personally, I'm thinking that's a great honor. I go, the thing is with Corey is like, I don't, is that a big deal for him? Is it not a big deal for him? We know the dynamics of, being, Armenian mom, American dad. Is that really a thing? Does he just want to focus on, his post-college career? So I go, well, let me give him a call, and he was like, well, make sure you talk it up. Don't just make it like it's like some sort of weekend, guys.
Yeah,
getting
like,
together.
oh, you're just, oh, by the way, you're going to Armenia to play basketball. No, it's like, this is the Armenian, whatever national team it is, like, that's an honor.
Huge honor.
Yeah.
Huge
So that's when I made the phone call to him, and I asked him, and to be honest, I didn't know what his reaction was going to be. I didn't know if it was like, really, dude, like Armenia, they have basketball there. Like that's what I'm thinking he's going to say, And so when he's like, well, yeah, so I was like, all right. So then I called the contact back and let him know, like, yeah, he's in. So gave him the information, and then from there it was just all on him.
So, like, you make that decision to go to Armenia, and then the thing is, there's a very active Armenian American community here in Fresno. So once you make that decision, I bet you people are like, I got to meet this kid, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been going to, I went to an event 3 days ago, just interacting and meeting people, because the Fresno Bee did an article on me, and after that,
Great article, by the way.
Yeah, great article, and so once that kind of got out there, a lot of these people wanted to meet me, and it's just really cool, and I love it, and it's just, a huge honor. Like I said before, it means a lot to me.
So your mom is Armenian.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with the culture, or talk about that connection?
Yeah, well, I grew up going to an Armenian church with my friend, and I started going to that, for a couple years. So I did get a little bit of that culture, but my mom, she knew a little bit here and there, but it wasn't. I'm starting to learn more about it now, and when I go over to Armenia, I'm really excited to learn more about it, because I never got that, that experience or that knowledge of my culture, and so to have the opportunity to receive that is something that I'm really looking forward to.
So I wish I was a fly on the wall when you told your mom that you're going to Armenia. How did that conversation go?
She was like shocked. I don't think she knew really what it meant until I explained it to her, but she was very happy. She's excited now. My mom is just there for the ride, always supportive. My dad is too. Just very supportive parents, very loving, just always telling me I could do whatever I put my mind to, and just really always there for me, and I just want to be successful for them, because they mean the world to me.
So when you get to Armenia, walk us through what that's going to look like.
Honestly, I have no idea. I've been on Google Maps, kind of looking at the areas I'm going to be at, and yeah, I have no clue.
Anything you want to experience while there? Are you going to have time?
I think I'll have time. I'm pretty sure whoever's showing me around is going to show me like the main attractions or whatever. I hope so. But yeah, I'm going to take my camera there, and I started a YouTube channel, so I'm going to record it and show my experience and try to get all that cool stuff online too.
What's your goal? Like, your college ball, you obviously did well.
Yeah.
You obviously are a good player. Then you're going to go represent Armenia. What next? Like, what is your goal?
Well, my goal is to make the NBA. I always believed in myself that I can. I want to aim for the stars. I have connections that are involved in the NBA, and one recently was telling me that I need to aim for the stars. I have the quickness, the speed, the size. Coming from a Division II, it's harder, but I really have, and I truly believe I have all the tools to do so. Whether it's me grinding in Europe to get there, or me starting in the G League, or me getting an early opportunity in the Summer League, whatever it takes, I believe in my abilities, and I'm just going to keep pushing for that main goal.
Hovig, you're a coach of basketball for a very long time. You love the sport ever since I've known you. What advice would you give him? What do you recommend for him to practice on? Are there any areas that he needs to build up?
Well, I've had conversations with Corey, and just, at this point, it's like I said, he's done what he needs to do. He's at where he's at because of what he's done. The advice that I just given him is, it's a job. Just, you got to keep working every day. It's a grind, especially with basketball, because at this level, everybody knows the transition from high school to college, it slims down. And then from college to the pros, it slims down even more. So he knows he has to put that hard work and dedication. He needs to be in the gym. He needs to be a gym rat. He needs to know, like I told him, that there are going to be days that just the ball's not going in. It's a bad day, and you got to bounce back, and things like that. So, but he, like I said, he's a good kid. He has a good work ethic. He has good character. Brought up well. So he knows those things. So there isn't really much that I can say that he already doesn't know.
What can this opportunity open for him? Going to Armenia, yeah, Armenia is a small country. I understand you're going to be in Lebanon for a while, and then maybe against Denmark for a while. What can this open up for him?
The exposure. It's going to be the exposure. It's going to be, I mean, like he already mentioned right now, just the fact that he's going and he's representing, the country of Armenia, the Central Valley, Fresno, Chico State, all those places. It's a platform for him to be recognized. And in professional sports, a lot of it is being at the right place at the right time. And so he's definitely at the right place at the right time. And now it's that without the pressure for him, it's just him going there and doing what he's been doing for the majority of his life.
So Corey, are you done with college now? Is that done? So you've graduated?
I've graduated, yes.
What's your degree in?
I got a degree in organizational communications
Nice.
and then a minor in criminal justice and gender and sexuality.
Nice. So you're done with college,
Yes.
go to Armenia, work hard, and then I presume come back, or are you open for, like if another country calls and says, hey, Corey, come here.
Yeah.
Are you open for that kind of stuff?
All my options are open, but my plan right now is after Armenia, I'm coming back to LA and I'm going to be working out with some professional trainers and getting my foot in the door and, just playing and meeting all those guys at that level and just showcasing that I could play at that level.
That's so interesting. I mean, how do you feel, Hovig, as someone that's watched this guy that, all of a sudden now he's going to be representing Armenia?
It's gratifying. It's kind of funny, like the story about how our paths crossed. I mean, it wasn't just hey, I was an assistant coach at or coach at Bullard, and he was one of the players. It went before, like he was in 5th grade, and I remember the 5th grade group he was in was actually a pretty good team, and it was funny because the big joke back then was like this 5th grade team is beating all these teams with a dad coaching the team, So it was funny. So I remember walking in. It was a particular tournament. It was at Clovis High. And I just walked in, I was watching a little bit, and he just missed a free throw. And coach had subbed him out, and he goes barging out, like running outside the gym. So I walk, and I'm like, what's going on? The coach like, will you go talk to him? So I go open the door, and I'm looking around, and I see him all sitting on the floor with his knees hunched, and he's crying. And I'm like, what are you crying about? He's like, I missed a free throw. I'm like, and? He's like, I let my team down. So at a young age, he already had that in him about, being a teammate and playing and stuff like that. As a 5th grader, it's a big deal. As an adult and a coach, I'm looking and like, get up, like quit crying. Like you're gonna miss more in your life, just get over it, But he had that in him at a young age. So seeing his progression, and he wasn't the guy that came into high school as a freshman and started playing varsity. He had to work his way up. He played JV as a freshman and a sophomore, right?
And a sophomore.
And
I got moved up.
And then, at the end of his sophomore year, when we made that run, coach pulled him up. So he definitely had to work for what he wanted. It wasn't, and nothing was ever really given to him.
What advice do you have? There's a lot of people playing street ball in my neighborhood, in neighborhoods all over this country.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who is young and loves basketball but thinks this might not be for me?
Well, if you love the game of basketball, you're gonna want to pour your heart out to it. If you pour your heart out to it and give it everything you got, and you believe in yourself and you put the work in, you could do anything you put your mind to. A lot of people that want to accomplish something big, the people around them will tell you that they can't, or you can't do something, and often it's because they can't do it. They don't have that mindset. And the thing that I would always tell someone is rise above that. Don't let anyone tell you can't do something. You have your own vision that no one else sees, and you have the ability to create that.
So your parents, they've been supportive of basketball your whole life. How important is that, having parents to say, you know what, son, yeah, it's tough to make it in basketball, but go do it?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's huge. It's huge. Whatever I was doing in life, whether it's playing video games at a young age or whatever I was doing, I always had the support from my parents, and it honestly just means a lot. Just shows me that they were just always there for me, and they always believed in me, and the love that they gave me. I mean, like I said, it means the world to me. I was blessed with some really good parents.
When you go to Armenia, what is it that you want to learn? Is there anything specific that you want to learn? I mean, it's all going to be a learning lesson.
Yeah.
But is there one or two things that you want to learn more about?
Well, some traditional stuff. Hopefully I eventually want to learn the language. I think that would be fun to take up. Just seeing the culture, how they run things over there, traditions, language, things like that.
Talk to us a little bit about your college time. So you get to Chico State, your first time playing ball. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, so I went up there on a visit. they liked what they saw. They offered me right away. I went up there. I redshirted. I needed to get stronger. Usually at Chico, they always redshirt their freshmen. It's a kind of like a tradition they have there. So I redshirted, got stronger. My freshman year, I started playing, and my coach, I believe I went to Chico State because of my coach. My coach and me have a really good relationship. He's just a great person, always had my best interest, always has his players' best interests, always wants to win, and he always believed in me too. I would come up to him as a Division II player, and he knew I had the ability to play professionally when I first got there. And junior year, I would go up to him, even sophomore year, I was like, Coach, I want to play in the NBA. And I'm a Division II guy, and he's like, Corey, honestly, you could do it. And I'm like, junior year, I'm like, Coach, I want to be the 6'5" Steve Nash. Like this, just going up and talking to him. He's like, Corey, you could do it. You have all the ability. Like, I believe in you. Just how much work and dedication are you going to put to it? And I think that's the reason I went to Chico, is because he really impacted my life.
And when you were actually, the first time you played on the court in Chico, talk about that experience. Were you nervous? What were you thinking?
I wasn't nervous. I was excited. I think my first game was against St. Mary's in an unofficial scrimmage, so it was closed doors, and I performed really well, and it gave a good first, gave my coach a good, first eye on me. So it went well. I don't really get nervous when I'm on the basketball court. Once I'm on the basketball court, all that nervousness and all that kind of goes away because of how much time I put into the game in preparation. But it was excitement. When I first played my first game in Chico, I remember that it was sold out, and I was like, wow, like this gym gets rocking. Like it's a nice crowd. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
What's your position, and do you change?
Yeah, well, I could guard multiple positions, but I'm mostly a point guard and shooting guard. I'm more of a point guard, but I also am a good shooting guard too. I could guard multiple positions. So it kind of, whatever system I play in, whatever they feel is best for me, I'll play it. And my main thing is I want to win. I play to win. I'll do whatever my job is to win, whether it's being a point guard, shooting guard, a good teammate. Just I'll always offer being a good teammate. That's inside of me. But just my competitiveness, the energy I'll bring in practice, and then whatever the team needs of me, I'll do.
So Hovig, or maybe Corey, what you're going to play for the Armenian National Team? What's the end? Like, is there a World Cup? In soccer, there's this World Cup. What's the equivalent to this Armenian National Team?
Yeah. So in 2019, there's a World Cup. It's the FIBA World Cup. 32 teams qualify for that.
Wow.
And then after is the Olympics in Tokyo, and 16 teams qualify for that. Right now, our FIBA ranking, there's 196 teams, I think, or somewhere around that ballpark, and we're 88th, and we're on the rise. But I think with the addition of myself and a lot of these players that we're getting, the roster is getting better and better. And I know I was talking to some of the Federation of Armenia, and they believe in a couple years that the basketball there is just going to keep on growing and keep on getting better. Wait,
you said a couple of years. So like this could potentially be like a several year thing. It's not just a 1 year thing for you.
Yeah. So national teams always have basketball. If I perform well, I'll get more opportunities on that team. I basically just got to go and perform well and win games and do what I do. But yeah, there's opportunities to continue playing for it. It's not a 1 year thing. So yeah, basically if I go there, play my game, we win, I'm a good guy, they like having me, they'll probably offer me back, we're getting better. So yeah, things like that.
You know what's cool about this, Hovig, I don't know if you realize, which you probably do realize, that there's going to be an Armenian American community here in Fresno, Fresnans, that are going to be watching this guy. Like, when the Armenian team plays, I want to watch now. Not so much for the Armenian team, but for Corey, because I'm going to say that guy went to Bullard. Do you feel that? Like, do you feel the energy?
You know what it is the nice, unique thing. I mean, we can talk about like the Armenian, the culture, the nationality, is when we see one of our own do something well, we're all happy. And so I think the fact that Corey's going, like I said, to represent the country of Armenia and, more importantly also the Central Valley here in Fresno, which was a big Armenian community, they're all going to be interested and they're going to follow. They're going to, now with social media, it's easy. Back back 10,
Yeah.
15 years ago, back at Fresno State back then, everything was the news, the newspaper, stuff like that. The internet was coming around, but still wasn't big. So now with Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, all that social media outlets, it's really easy. I know he was telling me to follow the Armenian basketball Instagram, because they were already starting to plug him, putting his bio on there, putting his information on there, putting his picture on there. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be, like I said, coming these games. I'm hoping that tournament that they have in Lebanon towards the end of the month, even though it's just a friendly tournament, I'm hoping that they are able to somehow stream that so we could follow along.
And that's the next question I was going to ask, is how can we watch? I guess we're going to have to follow you, and you're going to have to tell us, because we want to watch.
Yeah, well, if you guys follow me, like I said, I'll update everything. If I'm definitely going to ask if because my parents are asking, are the games going to be live streamed? Could we watch? So I'm going to find that information out, and I'll relay it to everyone on social media, and I'll post the links too.
How exciting, how exciting. And then Lebanon is a beautiful country from what I hear, so you're going to get a taste of Lebanon as well. Wow. So final thoughts. We're running out of time this week on the program, but final thoughts from you?
I don't really have any. I mean, it's just been a pleasure being on this show. It means a lot for you having me, and it's been a pleasure to getting to know you and having Hovig on here too as well. I really appreciate it.
Well, Hovig and I go way back, because I remember back in college, we used to hang out, and we used to, after class, we'd go to a very popular place and enjoy our nice teriyaki chicken bowl back then. Both of you, thank you so much for coming on the program, and so proud that someone from Fresno is playing. In this case, it's the Armenian National Team, but you could have been playing for any national team, and I think that people would be rooting for you, because here you are from Bullard High School, little old Fresno, and you're making it up there. So good luck to you. Congratulations on everything you shoot out to do. Hey, shoot out.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
That's all for this edition of the Central Valley Ledger. Thank you to the volunteer crew that make this production and every production possible. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you to our audience members listening to this broadcast on 90.7 FM, KFSR Fresno, and to those watching this broadcast on CMAC, Comcast 93, and AT&T 99. We hope you enjoyed the program this week. Tune in next week to a new edition.
KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger every Sunday morning at 11:30. For a complete program schedule, visit kfsr.org.